it's a time capsule. It's a memorial to a lost time. And I think that what we're looking at in that whole area is the outcome of contact with an earlier, largely lost civilization.
A labyrinth so intricate and expansive that it defies all that is known about ancient civilizations can be found deep beneath Russia's freezing Caucasus. Impossibly smooth stone blocks, flawless passageways, and impossible geometry all point to origins that go beyond any known society. But this might be a warning as well as an archaeological mystery. It is surrounded by strange magnetic fields, missing explorers, and unexplained fatalities that frighten both skeptics and scientists. What sculpted this underground realm? And why was it kept secret for thousands of years? The answers, buried in stone and silence, test the limits of history and the security of those who dare to inquire. In Russia's North Caucasus, beneath the rocky slopes of Kara-Hora Mountain, lies the mysterious underground shaft. Scientists discovered a huge vertical shaft that was instantly incomprehensible. At a depth of over 130 feet, the entrance showed walls that were so perfectly smooth and geometrically accurate that they scarcely resembled an erosion-formed cave. The shaft remained perfectly uniformly cylindrical as the research crew descended, showing no indications of the rough imperfections that are typical of natural geology. The explorers entered a vast chamber unlike anything recorded in known archaeology when they reached the bottom. The walls of the room were perfectly at right angles to one another, and the ceiling rose more than 60 feet. The chamber was built with enormous stone blocks, some of which weighed up to 200 tons, and both the floor and the ceiling were consistently flat. These enormous blocks were fitted with such fine accuracy that even a small blade or a fragment of they couldn't let paper get between them. The enigma was further complicated by the lack of mortar or obvious adhesives. The complete absence of human traces gave rise to even more concerns. The stones had no chisel marks, tool scratches, or other debris that would suggest construction or quarrying. Because there was no nearby source of matching stone, researchers believed that using known ancient technology to move and put such massive pieces deep under a mountain was impossible. Wear and tool evidence were completely absent, indicating that the makers used procedures that are now lost to current knowledge. It was also surprising to find no cultural items. There were no carvings or paintings, no offerings, no lamp soot traces, or other indications of rituals or residence in the chamber, or the remains of bones. This lack of cultural indicators is extremely remarkable because nearly every ancient building has some indication of human habitation or belief. A chilling weight was added to the discovery by the intentional removal or lack of any distinguishing features. The person who constructed the chamber appeared to have intended to leave no traces of their identity or intent. Because of its isolated position and the fact that such a building shouldn't exist in light of contemporary historical frameworks, the initial scientific inquiry was constrained. Many scholars found the seemingly inconceivable engineering feat to be both fascinating and unsettling. The size and durability of these characteristics suggested knowledge and capacities well beyond those ascribed to primitive societies. Nevertheless, the secrets of the quiet chambers were jealously guarded and defied explanation. A larger puzzle that calls into question everything about human history and the forces operating beneath the surface of the Earth was sparked by this finding. It called into question long-held beliefs regarding the construction dates and methods of sophisticated structures. At the same time, it sparked worries about invisible threats concealed far below ground. The burden of these unknowns produced a spooky background that still fascinates and confounds academics. Both the scientific community and the local population became skeptical and uneasy as news of this remarkable location spread. Due in part to access limitations and limited official disclosure, the site is secretive, fueled conspiracy ideas and conjecture. The enormous stonework and the shaft's unwavering geometry, however, are indisputable facts that warrant more investigation. That was just the beginning of the shaft's mystery. Anomalies and rumors beneath the mountain allude to a deeper reality than a mere archaeological quirk. The voices of the land and the dark history connected to this ominous location must also be heard in order to fully comprehend its vastness. A sense of discomfort is almost tangible as the physical mystery is entwined with local folklore and weird occurrences. Local legends and odd occurrences. In the vicinity of Kara Hora Mountain, local populations have been passing down enigmatic and terrifying tales for many generations. These stories forewarn of places where birds go mute, and as though the natural world is ruled by an invisible power, animals run away in fear. Scientists and vacationers alike are perplexed by a recurring story that portrays compasses spinning wildly and even contemporary GPS systems malfunctioning. The idea of strong magnetic or energy anomalies connected to the region is given credence by such aberrations in navigational aids. The local tradition describes old stone gateways that are concealed inside the mountain and are supposed to lead to miles of subterranean passageways. Oral traditions claim that these passages lead to vast underground civilizations that have long been forgotten and sealed off, in addition to caves. Some locals believe that these areas were created by unidentified entities or extinct civilizations and were never intended for human habitation. Surprisingly, several travelers have mysteriously vanished after venturing too near these alleged entrances. Their goods, gear, or tents were frequently discovered abandoned with no indication of their whereabouts. Other witnesses claim to have heard systematic, low-pitched mechanical noises coming from beneath the ground. These sounds sound like the workings of some secret equipment. These reports are still anecdotal and hard to confirm, but they are common and lend credence to a pattern of eerie encounters near the mountain. During the Soviet era, scientists took these allegations very seriously, even sending out teams of geologists and other experts to the region with the peculiar terrain. The massive, symmetrical depressions that these teams saw were too regular to have been the product of natural erosion. Additionally, magnetic abnormalities that matched local reports were noted. This verified that odd physical forces were present. However, the teams were abruptly withdrawn without providing an official explanation following a brief study. There were covertly abandoned infrastructure projects that sought to develop roads or provide military access to Kara Hora Mountain, which led to the hypothesis that intentional attempts were made to limit access. Expeditions have never been easy due to the harsh terrain and government regulations, and contemporary explorers occasionally feel that more than just bureaucracy is preventing them from visiting the region. The mountain's reputation as a perilous location and the scientific attention have heightened local mistrust and prudence. In the opinion of some locals, Kara Hora is a living mystery that should not be disturbed, rather than merely a geographical location. Dark murmurs. Since the mountain is responsible for inexplicable and difficult-to-describe changes in the environment and in people's minds, voices of energy or an old curse are heard, along with genuine concern. These tales, whether they are natural or supernatural, have contributed significantly to the development of the mystery surrounding the physical discoveries. They depict not only an odd subterranean building, but also a region where human cognition is exceeded and intuition cautions against further investigation. The general unease is pervasive and prompts reflection on historical interests that have historically revolved around Kara Hora Mountain. In addition to causing anxiety among the villagers, the mountain's secrets have historically piqued the interest of strong and enigmatic forces. How those who desired control also ran into the mountain's mysteries is revealed in the following phase of this tale. Kara Hora Mountain's riddles quickly attracted the attention of the Soviet Union and Nazis, the focus of military and occult scholars in the Soviet era, and during World War II. Operation Edelweiss by Nazi Germany in 1942 aimed to seize control of the Caucasus for its crucial oil deposits. Nevertheless, among the soldiers were agents of the Ahnenerbe, Heinrich Himmler's covert group dedicated to revealing ancient civilizations and occult roots. Believing in traditions of an Atlantean bloodline and secret worlds like Shambhala and Agartha, they saw the Caucasus, with its myths and anomalies, as a possible entryway to lost power. According to unverified sources, Ananurba scouts made it to the lower slopes of Kara and conducted secret surveys before their mission was unexpectedly called off. They were suggested but not proven until a carved stone with a faint swastika-like emblem was found close to the mountain in 1978, decades later. Historians were perplexed by the abrupt end of exploration around Kara, despite the Nazis' preoccupation with arcane knowledge. A protracted period of stillness followed the departure, whether as a result of a military defeat or a meeting with an unexplainable force. The mystery surrounding what they discovered, or feared, maintains the mountain's standing as a site where myth, history, and terror all come together. Soviet teams also conducted scientific explorations in the decades following the war, drawn by the region's peculiar geological structures and unusual magnetic readings. But like with the Nazis, the investigations came to an abrupt end, and no comprehensive public revelations surfaced. Official initiatives and development plans subtly avoided the mountain, suggesting a persistent reluctance to confront the mystery head-on. This pattern, a string of influential organizations attracted by tales and legends only to withdraw without explanation, lends Karahora's mystery a sinister undertone. It implies that part of the knowledge that was kept in the mountain might confront dominant worldviews or control threats that caused a frightened quiet. There are enormous gaps in our knowledge due to the refusal to share research results or do additional research, but it also feeds conjecture that the secrets of the mountain may alter the course of history. Beyond folklore or geological curiosity, the implications touch on the potential presence of knowledge that has been purposefully hidden over time. Modern scholars are challenged to look beyond the shadows where science and myth meet, as the mountain continues to defend its underground secrets, set in motion by these ancient meetings. The story of Kara Mountain only gets more complex from here, as circumstances, technology, and human destiny all interact in ways that are still unclear. The scientific difficulties, scientists are still perplexed by the underground structure beneath Kara Mountain because of its impossibly complex engineering. Deep within the mountain, enormous stone blocks, some as heavy as 200 tons, 4 times heavier than those found in the Egyptian pyramids, are completely linked, with no visible spaces between them. Support. It's still unclear how archaic hands managed to lift and fit such enormous stones. Like no natural cave, the chamber's geometry is similarly astounding, with level floors, smooth ceilings, and precisely aligned right angles. There are no signs of chisels, tool marks, or construction evidence that would indicate the use of technology or processes that are beyond our current understanding. To make matters more complicated, there is no known quarry or source for the stones in the area, which makes it seem difficult to move and arrange them. What's even more disturbing is the complete lack of artifacts, no remnants, soot, or carvings that would indicate who constructed it or why. Karahora's depths are turned into a haunting mystery by this eerie quiet, both cultural and physical. It is an ancient building that defies logic, confronts history, and stands as a silent monument to information that has long since been lost or was never intended to be known. The area's strange magnetic disruptions have become a source of conflict for academics, since these occurrences align with the narratives of the locals. Along with making scientific research challenging, the magnetic anomalies cast doubt on the existence of the mountain's potent energies and interfere with compasses and other technological devices. The nature of the structure is further perplexed by the belief held by some that these magnetic fields constitute a component of the structure. One of the main reasons why scholars have been unable to reach a consensus is the ambiguous situation. Kara is difficult to locate in traditional archaeology, since no cultural strata or advancements in building methods have been observed, and as a result, there are no chronological timeframes to position the site. It is only a matter of time until the site itself challenges the historical order of human progress, as it currently appears to be outside the domain of history. This discrepancy, which includes undeniable physical evidence on one side and a lack of historical or cultural background on the other, has led to reluctance and occasionally even fear of further investigation. According to the scientific community, learning the building's origin and purpose will fundamentally alter our understanding of prehistoric societies and the Earth's geology. Many tests have been conducted on the building, but a lot of information about it is still unknown. The vastness of current knowledge and the profound mysteries that remain undiscovered are symbolized by this enormous puzzle. Those that ventured to explore the room deeper met untimely ends, which only adds to the eerie silence around it. Unaccounted for deaths and disappearances. The Kara enigma has been plagued by a string of terrible and mysterious incidents involving important investigators in addition to physical difficulties. In 2011, the cause of the untimely death of Arur Gemikov, the spelunker who conducted the first descent down the vertical shaft, is unknown. Questions remain since neither the official cause nor the autopsy report has been made public. His friends observed that before his premature demise, he was healthy and had no known diseases. Due to its perfect geometry and very smooth walls, Gemikov's trip apparently established that the shaft was man-made. Unverified rumors state that his team withdrew when instruments started to fail deep within the chamber, but no official documents support this. A second drop with better equipment was planned by Gemikov, but his untimely death prevented further research and prevented the publication of important discoveries. 2 years later, in 2017, Vadim Chernobrov, a well-known anomalist and ufologist, also passed away unexpectedly and without cause. Similar to Gemikov, he had been actively interested in researching Kara and compiling information regarding the mysteries surrounding the mountain. The fact that no autopsy results have been made public has raised questions regarding the cause of these fatalities. The research is negatively impacted for a long time by the passing of these two tenacious researchers. Rumors and worries have been stoked by their unexpected deaths that the mountain itself may be somehow linked to these catastrophes, either by powers beyond scientific comprehension or by natural hazards. The cloak of secrecy is further strengthened by the deaths, which deter others from continuing the task. Beyond the well-known disasters, terrifying reports exist of tourists experiencing serious bodily and mental consequences upon their arrival in the Kara region. There have been reports of persistent paranoia, vivid hallucinations, recurrent nightmares, and nausea with an odd, dark aftertaste. These rumors strengthen the mountain's ominous character, even though they are unsubstantiated. Disappearances exacerbate the anxiety. In one well-known instance, a guy disappeared days after returning from Kara. His ripped tent was discovered left in his yard, but he was never seen again. These kinds of instances point to a threat that is immeasurable. The mysterious photographer Alexander Splashnov is credited with taking a set of photos purportedly taken within the Kara shaft that surfaced online in 2018. The photographs showed perfectly straight walls, perfect geometric angles, and unsettling reflections that defied the laws of natural light. They sparked a brief international controversy before abruptly disappearing. Within a few days, the images were removed from websites, servers were cleaned, and conversations, even in forums that were not censored, were put on hold. Splashnov is said to have ruined his apparatus and vanished. Some findings are better left hidden, according to scientists who saw the photos and declined to comment further. Only the disturbing human tales entwined with Kara Mountain can match the physical mystery's magnitude, implying a quiet force that appears to zealously guard its secrets. The origin and function of the Kara megastructure are still the subject of intense discussion, with ideas ranging from exceptional natural events to lost civilizations. History itself would be turned upside down if humans constructed this enormous underground maze. Its accuracy, geometry, and sheer size point to technological proficiency that is far beyond that of primitive peoples. It may have existed thousands of years before Sumer or Egypt. Such artistry calls into question the timetable of human progress itself. It might be the memory-erased relic of a highly developed civilization, according to some academics. Intentional concealment or something completely non-human could be implied by the lack of cultural artifacts. These theories are based on the mythology of a pre-Diluvian or Atlantean culture that had knowledge comparable to contemporary engineering, but was lost due to design or disaster. The mainstream scientific community is uneasy even with the notion of such origins. Kara may be a natural formation, but it differs from any known geological formation, according to some. Uncanny patterns can occasionally be found in nature, but it is inexplicable how precisely matched bricks and perfectly smooth tunnels emerge. Should the mountain itself have formed this maze, it would expose forces and mechanisms not yet understood by geology, possibly a completely new comprehension of how the Earth forms itself. Both interpretations are unsettling. The abrupt termination of studies, missing reports, and absence of open research have all contributed to accusations of purposeful suppression. The truth about Kara, according to some, might change the course of history or disclose something too risky to face. Only bits of information and conjecture remain when governments and institutions seem cautious. In fact, one of the underlying hypotheses suggests that the structure was built primarily to retain something, whether it be presence, energy, or knowledge, inside for good, and was never meant to return to the surface. Some warn, nevertheless, that it might not be active in the sense of flourishing, but it could, be in a state where they can resurrect. These claims heavily blend myth and science, yet the mountain's peculiar nature lends some credence to them, so they shouldn't be completely disregarded. Fear has been heightened by a number of factors, including the location of mysterious fatalities, missing explorers, and the most severe psychological impacts. Those who have visited have described their experiences as though they were experiencing extreme fear, a debilitating lack of direction, and even physical illness. These symptoms suggest that a hidden power may still be in charge under Kara. Humanity is plagued by the secrets of the mountain, which force us to choose between respecting the silence that surrounds it and discovering the truth about it. It is possible that some secrets are destined to remain hidden because their disclosure would be too significant or risky for humanity to bear. We still don't fully understand our planet, our history, or the unseen bonds that bind them all together. Kara Mountain is the living proof of this, which is literally inscribed in stone. Even the most experienced scientists find themselves uneasy when the mysteries of Kara Mountain reveal an ancient wonder that defies explanation. Whether it was formed by Earth's natural processes or by lost hands, its mysteries cast doubt on all of our knowledge of nature and history. For more stories that push the boundaries of discovery, like and subscribe if this voyage into the unknown piqued your interest. What do you believe Karahora's foundations are? Tell us about your ideas below, and continue investigating by viewing the subsequent video. It might unlock the final component.